thank the representative of France, and I now give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation. Thank you, Madam President. We thank the UN Special Coordinator on the Middle East, Tor Vennesland, for his thorough briefing on the state of affairs in the Middle East peace process in the context of the implementation of Security Council Resolution 2334. We listened with concern to your report on the continued stagnation of the settlement process in the Middle East and its central unresolved problem, the Palestinian question. We are forced to note with regret that around the Palestinian-Israeli confrontation, violence is not abating, a violence that is leading to victims on both sides and which could spill over into a fully-fledged military escalation, the likes of which we have repeatedly witnessed. The situation is further exacerbated by the unlawful unilateral actions of Israel, which could have dangerous, turbulent consequences for the entire Middle East region. These include confiscation of Palestinians' lands and forced eviction, the demolition of property, illegal settlement building, and attempts to change the historic status quo of holy places. We were deeply concerned by Tel Aviv's announcement of plans to expand settlement building activity on the West Bank and in East Jerusalem. The continuation of settlement building and the intention to double by 2026 the number of Israelis living in the Jordan River Valley, as well as in the Syrian Golan Heights, could be seen as the de facto annexation of a large part of occupied Palestinian territory. Against this backdrop, we are seeing a sharp growth in settler attacks and also the disproportionate use of force by Israeli soldiers against Palestinians, which is leading to civilian deaths and injuries. An example of such wrongful actions were the high-profile eviction and demolition in January in Sheikh Jarrah, in the Sheikh Jarrah district of eastern Jerusalem. In these circumstances, we believe that the primary aim is to achieve the lasting stabilization of the situation, with the parties refraining from provocations and unilateral steps to create irreversible facts on the ground, as well as the recreation of a political horizon to reinvigorate the peace process within the agreed internationally recognized parameters, which include UN Security Council resolutions, the Madrid Principles, and the Arab Peace Initiative. We do not agree with those who believe that this basis is not relevant. The problem isn't in this basis itself, because the final details of it will in any case need to be discussed by Palestinians and Israelis during direct negotiations. Rather, the problem lies in factors that prevent the resumption of the negotiating process. In this context, we are convinced of the need to intensify multilateral efforts, including in the format of the Middle East Quartet of International Mediators, with the aim of creating the necessary conditions for the rapid relaunch of direct Palestinian-Israeli negotiations. Moreover, advancing the settlement process will not be possible unless Palestinian unity is restored based on the PLO and the holding of elections. Against this backdrop, we attach great importance to the provision of comprehensive humanitarian assistance to those in need in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, as well as to Palestinian refugees in neighboring Arab countries. We support the efforts of the relevant international organizations, first and foremost UNRWA, whose work has not only a humanitarian but also a political dimension in providing an important stabilizing effect on Palestinian territories and in the countries of the Middle East. In this connection, we would point out the appeal of the agency to the international community to gather the necessary financial resources to continue uninterrupted support for Palestinians this year. We, for our part, will continue our efforts to consolidate the international consensus and coordination of joint actions in order to find a just solution to the Palestinian question. We urge our colleagues in the Quartet to consider our well-known initiatives, including the holding of a ministerial meeting, as well as consultations in an expanded format with the involvement of states in the region. At the same time, we hope that these undertakings will be supported by the international community. Thank you for your attention.
أشكر ممثل الاتحاد الروسي على بيانه.